Well, Paul Groves, that's 4-1 win against the youthful Coventry City side there today. How happy are you with that?
In parts of the game, yes, you would be pleased. I think our pressing was better, our pressure, our tempo that we played at, our fitness levels. So yeah, it was a good exercise for us. Some positives, but obviously there's areas that we'll need to try and address.
The ball didn't spend very much time in the air. We play a lot of good football, don't we?
Yeah, we do try to keep it on the floor. I think if you do play long on this pitch, especially if it gets a little bit of rain, it will skid through, and it's a quick pitch. So for us, it's a good pitch to play on.
Well, it was Jordan Young's birthday today. He proved himself against his own team with 2 goals. How important is he going to be to us this season?
That's why he was always shooting. Was it his birthday? No, to be fair to Jordan, he's been consistent in respect of how he's tried to operate, certainly off the right, coming in on his left foot, and he's a threat. Either picking people out or, as he's done on one or two occasions, making the goalkeeper work. So, it's a strength of ours, and players are starting to get used to that. We're starting to get overlaps and people running off Jordan as well when he's receiving the ball. So yeah, that's starting to bear a little bit of fruition. Yeah.
Well, we've had 4 or 5 pre-season friendlies so far, and among those I think we scored 3 goals from range. We don't normally shoot. Under previous regimes we don't normally shoot. Is that something that you encourage?
No, I think we've got good technicians. I think we've got good strikers of the ball, and we've got into good situations where, especially towards the end of the game there, and it's happened on a number of occasions where we've backed teams up, we're around the edge of their box. They end up with plenty of bodies behind it, and it's difficult to then start threading passes through. So you've got to try and stretch them, or as the opportunities arise, you take them and you shoot.
Well, we've been playing a couple of weeks now, 4 or 5 games. What have you learned so far?
Plenty, yeah. You're just trying to put in place how you want to play. Different scenarios will unfold in the game, and how you deal with that. And so for our education, for us as a team and a group, the games have been a valuable exercise, and you do learn something from every game.
Was this the best opposition we've faced? Is this a par for the likes of Southport and York?
No, I think it was very different. Obviously, like you said there, to start off with, they're quite a young group today. Obviously quite athletic, quite sharp, quite bright in their play at times, but I think Bath would be along the lines of perhaps what you would face sort of our level, and maybe obviously next week with Hemel that would be a little bit more along the lines of perhaps a Southport or a York, along those lines, yeah, for sure. So
have you got an idea of your final squad?
Yeah, I think ideally you know where you want to go with it. You know what types and also what positions you want to try to bring in. But there are times when you have to be patient with that and make sure that you get the right type, because we've got a good environment, we've got a good group, and it's important that we bring in the right types of personalities and characters to add to the group.
Well, we've seen a different striker in each half today, but are we playing 1 up front, or is it 3 up front, or is that how we're going to shape up?
I think it depends on the game. There are times when you're nearly trying to get 5 up front and stretch their back four with midfield players quite high, but there will be times when it might be a little bit of a 1, especially if teams are able to pin us. That hasn't happened so much, but the idea is that we try and dominate games and have a lot of possession.
Well, finally, we've had a half-decent crowd in here today. What can you say to the people of Gloucester to come and get behind your team?
Hopefully they're able to come throughout the season. Hopefully they can see some decent football, some good energy. We'll be fit for sure, especially with the work that Niall does with the players. So hopefully we can entertain them and we can give them a bit of something to get behind and get some wins.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Paul. Cheers. Say that again.